This is my #1 guitar. It's a Gibson 59 Reissue Les Paul. Let's hear how this bad boy sounds. I first played this guitar almost 2 years ago, and I never believed in love at first sight until I met this guitar. I was shopping around custom shop Les Pauls, trying out as many as I could to see what aspects I liked from different models. Initially, I thought I really wanted a 57 gold top reissue, especially a dark back gold top. I just think those are awesome, and eventually I'll probably get one of those, but I don't know, I found the necks a little too fat on those. And after like a few months of trying out different Les Pauls, seeing what I liked, I walked into the local guitar shop and they had this hanging up, and I've like played every one they've had so far. This was new, I never played it. And I was excited about it. I really had no like expectation of liking a 59 or a 58 or a 60. I was kind of open-minded just to see which one I picked up, played, and enjoyed the most. And so I had the employee go and grab it down and hand it to me. And there was two things before I even played the guitar that really stood out to me. The first thing is there's this really cool and unique wood grain on the side of the guitar right here. Let me see if I can show the camera. If not, I'll do some B-roll kind of showing it. I just saw that and it looks like an eye or something in the mahogany. And I just thought it looked cool. And then the next thing, which is probably more important for the actual guitar, is the neck. The neck just felt perfect in my hands. It wasn't too skinny and it wasn't too fat. I've played quite a few different 59 reissues, and they all have different necks. They're similar, but they're all a little bit different. And this one just in particular, something about it felt instantly perfect. And then I looked down, I saw that wood grain, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And one thing I like to do is actually just play the guitar acoustically. I believe the most important part of the sound of a guitar is the wood. I find the pickups on this guitar, they just pick up the sound of the guitar natural acoustic sound, which is what I love. I think it sounds fantastic acoustically, and the pickups do a great job representing that through the amp. I'm gonna run through some sounds here in a minute, but before we do that, I wanna go over some of the specs about this guitar. Of course, you got the one-piece mahogany body, two-piece maple top. I think they call this a washed cherry burst, I believe. I'm not totally sure. I don't know if it's on their specs on their website, but 59s have different frets than 58s and 57s and 56s, and I know at least on those. They're a little bit wider, which I'm be honest, I would prefer the 58 or 57 frets. They're a little skinnier, and I feel like they're taller as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but from playing different ones, they definitely have different frets. So that's probably one downside I would say about this guitar that I don't like is the frets. Not that I completely dislike them, it's just they're not my preferred. But moving on, you got the classic ABR1, a lightweight kind of tailpiece. It's got the traditional hardware like bumblebee capacitor, and I don't know, really nice pots on there that I don't know how much it impacts the sound, but I know they sound good and it reacts very well when you roll the knob down, which we'll go through a little bit later. I don't know if there's anything else. You got the typical kind of Kluson tuners there. So they call this neck shape a 50s rounded medium C. So that's, like I said, I played a bunch of different ones, and I don't know if they all classify the same neck, but they feel a little bit different just naturally. So if you're shopping around for one of these, play as many as you can, and the neck will instantly feel comfortable and some will not. I know in the 1960s reissues, the necks are there's like 3 different styles, so there's a lot to kind of choose from with those, which is really cool. But that's pretty much the spec. Also, another of my favorite specs on the kind of custom shops is the side dots. I forget what they call the material, but they're not just like black plastic. They have this like reddish, ruby-like kind of look to them. I think it looks really, really cool. I don't know, it's just a pretty instrument to look down at, and seeing those dots just kind of stands out. I don't know, I think it's cool. All right, let's go through some of the sounds that you guys heard in the intro song. Of course, I'm playing through the MGL 50 red circuit, and then that's going out from a load box, the Captor 8, into my interface, and then I'm throwing on some own hammer IRs. I'm using a blend of a 57 and a 121 at different times. And our kind of basic sound right here is... right, and that's bridge pickup. Oh, also, let's go through the pickups real quick. They call them Custom Bucker Alnico 3 Unpotted. Both of them, same kind of classification. I don't know if they're anything different about them. On the website, they have the same name, though. So that's what they're called, Custom Bucker Alnico 3. I get a lot of those questions. It's just the stock pickups, but I will say they sound really good. So that's our bridge pickup. Everything's on 10. Our neck pickup sounds like this. I'm gonna make an adjustment on the amp real quick. All right, I just turned the mids and the bass up a little bit. I was planning to write a song for this video that covers a bunch of clean parts and different things, but this kind of groovy, funky song came out that was kind of just bridge pickup driven, like. So that kind of just jumped out, and I just went with it. But, you know, some of my favorite things, I made other videos talking about this, is just rolling the knob down on like the bridge pickup. It's just full on. Then I roll it down. One thing I do like is it maintains that kind of sparkle as you roll down the volume knob. I know some guitars you roll it down and it kind of gets very bassy. Right, so that might be too bright for me. The tone knob's very reactive in a very nice way. It keeps that normal sound of the guitar, the tone knob when you roll it down, but it adds a nice warmth to it, which I kind of, rolling the tone knob down to me mentally is kind of just adding warmth. It's not really, on other tone knobs, it kind of dulls the sound out a little too much. So that's on like max right there. If I roll it down, let's go to 5. I don't know if you can hear the difference on that palm muting there. Go to 5. Like, it's still very clear. It just adds a lot of kind of warmth and smoothness to the low end there. You know, and I actually mid solo will use that tone knob to, if I want a really punchy bright sound. But then say, you know, for more like a smoother legato sound, I'll roll the tone knob down. I might do it mid solo. And it just kind of flattens out the frequencies for there's not too much kind of things punching out. But then you roll it back up and you can. And there's almost like a perceived less gain when you roll the tone knob down. I'm not sure what's happening, but there's like a slight. So that's on 2 on the tone knob. love that sound. It's super warm, and it, like I said, it lowers the gain, or at least it feels like it is. I kind of set my amp up a little too bright as a go-to kind of setup. You know, brighter than I would normally want, and then it just gives me the ability to, if I ever wanted that full-on brightness, I can, you know, do the tone knob full-on, but then I can just roll it down to 5 if that's what I want. If we go to my favorite pickup, which is both pickups. Roll some of the bridge pickup out. Right. One of my favorite sounds is blending that middle pickup in the neck together in different, you know, not full on each time. Is, you know, sometimes I want more bridge pickup than neck, and you get that kind of. And then you can do kind of vice versa, a little bit warmer of a sound. And then you can go full on neck. Same thing when you roll down, it keeps that sparkle in there. It's very clear, but still very warm. That's my number one guitar. I love using this guitar. It's the most organic sounding guitar. It plays amazing. And I like an instrument that I don't need to reach the pedals or reach to the amp to make adjustments on. I like a guitar that's everything's all included and it just sounds organic. I don't want pickups that are like altering the sound, making it sound much different than the actual guitar naturally sounds, right? I want pickups that naturally kind of replicate the sound of the instrument itself. I want the electronics that do that. And I feel like this guitar, and it's probably what is kind of magical about the custom shop reissues, is that they all are built with those kind of specs, with good pickups and good pots, and also the foundation of a really, really good woods, to me, is like the most important part.